So tonight I would like to talk about something I was thinking about. The other day I was imagining, I was talking with a friend on Facebook, and this friend was saying that Hollis will never come back on stage. She had the opportunity to meet him years ago when Spirit of Eden was released, and Hollis obviously seemed to say that he will never come back to stage. And I started imagining what it would be if Hollis was coming back on stage, which will never happen, probably not. I think that the Beatles have more chances to be together again than Hollis going back on stage. But I was imagining Hollis on stage, and I was thinking, do the artists have to be young and beautiful to be on stage? Because I was watching on YouTube videos of Jim Kerr, the singer of Simple Minds, and I saw that he was touring now. I saw concerts of 2013, 14, 15 and probably 16. I saw a video, an interview which is really not old, which is very recent, where he was saying that he was going to tour again, and I watched the videos with Jim Kerr of Simple Minds on stage, and I mean vocally no problem, the music is still very good and no problem. The problem is that I think when we go to see an artist on stage, it's like almost a god, you know. It's like an idol, someone who is not common, someone who is very special. And I think that we imagine him, at least when I think of someone on stage, I think of a man. I'm not especially interested in women on stage, it's not my thing. I'm not saying that women are not great on stage, no. It's just that for me, I'm more fascinated by men, sorry, than by women on stage. I think that it's more powerful, it's more... it's... I don't know how to explain that. I think it's more... well, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of bands where there are women. It's not true, because I like Annie Lennox, for example, but I mean on stage it makes our imagination work, and for me on stage, the idol, the artist, the rock star, I imagine a man. So I was watching Jim Kerr on stage, and he's great. Even now he's great, no problem. We see that he's very comfortable on stage. The problem is that we imagine a young man, or rather young, he doesn't need to be 18, of course, but I mean rather young man, rather beautiful, you know, like for me on stage it's like I imagine Bono of U2 running from one side to the other with the wind in the hair, and you know, and being all in black, being strange and looking dangerous, and the music who makes something extraordinary. I know you think I'm crazy. I've been very fascinated by people on stage. I actually made 2 paintings years ago about the Isle of Wight. If you have the possibility to get this DVD, I know I have it somewhere, but I couldn't find it to show you. But you can find the, I think it's a CD or DVD, where you can see the Isle of Wight Festival in 1970. It's the last time that Jimi Hendrix played on stage, and also there is Jim Morrison on stage, but they are not automatically the best ones. I think that the Moody Blues are especially good, and 10 years after, I think, yes, they are. I will show you my paintings because I've been inspired by the Isle of Wight in 1970. I understand that if you are much younger than me, for you the Isle of Wight in 1970 is not a representation of the rock star on stage, but for me, when I think rock star, I imagine the Isle of Wight in 1970 with the sunset, you know, the sun coming down and the music. And the wind in the hair of the artist, and it's magic. I made two paintings, one named The Myth of the Isle of Wight, and the second painting I called it The Gods of the Day. Because the first one are the artists on stage. But the second one are the people, the audience, on the grass, leaving the Isle of Wight, and I call that painting The Gods of the Day, because the gods of the day are the people, the simple people.
An empty field at the beginning, and then hopefully an empty field at the end.
We are all somehow gods in our way. Of course, we are not God. We are kind of maybe a reflection of what could be God if God exists. And I'm not doing a video about religion right now. I mean that the artists are, of course, more fascinating because they are on stage, so they are higher, and we look at them and they make the music, so they are fascinating. But the people in the audience also, when you look at the video, the DVD of the Isle of Wight, you will see that a lot of people of the audience have been filmed, and they are as fascinating. All that to say that the stage has always fascinated me. I was on stage, I've been on stage sometimes. It's really not my thing. I really panic. I'm panicking when I'm on stage, so I'm not very comfortable on stage. I could have been maybe if I had worked more on it, but it doesn't mean that because I can't really go on stage that I'm not interested in people who are going on stage. Anyway, Jim Kerr on stage, very well. But when I listen to Simple Minds and when I imagine him on stage, I still see him as he was when he was young. Because we imagine the artists when they are young and beautiful. Of course, we don't imagine them as Jim Kerr is now. It means, well, he's not very fat, he has the face a little more round. So we see that he's not so young. By the way, I don't know what I'm talking about because I'm as old as these people I'm talking about. So you see, I'm the same age as these people and I'm doing videos on YouTube. What am I talking about? Am I too old to be on YouTube? But even if he's okay, we don't imagine an artist on stage like that. However, so I was thinking maybe they shouldn't go on stage when they are like that, which is a shame, because when you see Mick Jagger on stage, even now, it's wow, we don't care if he doesn't look young, we don't care. And anyway, if Jim Kerr is happy on stage when he sings, he should go on stage. Who cares what people think? At a point, I listened to a video where watched, but I didn't watch because there is no image, there is just one image, and we can hear only Jim Kerr on stage with the song Someone Somewhere in Summertime, and it was live. I was listening to that and I was like, whoa, on stage he's really good. But I thought that it was an old an old concert when he was younger. And when I checked, it was in 2013, so only 3 years ago. So he was not young anymore. And just without looking, just listening to the voice and the music, it was like, wow, wow, exceptional. So I thought, yes, they should go on stage, because if they are able to do that when they are older, why not? It's the sound is there, the voice is there, the music is there. This is the album of Simple Man. I had the cassette, the audio tape from the 80s, but later I bought this album because I put some paint on it because I really like this album, but it's not like Tok Tok. I love this album, but no images, nothing coming, nothing. Beautiful, I love. There are so many songs in this album that I like a lot, but no images, nothing coming to me. I wouldn't be able to do a painting on this kind of music. I don't know why, because it's exactly the same period as Tok Tok. I was listening to both then, but I had a preference for Tok Tok still. It was, for me, it was kind of dark and very impressive, you know. I was seeing him dressed in black, and you know, I think that when we see an artist on stage, there is also all the images, the imagination which comes in the mix. It's not only the voice, it's not only the music, it's also how we see the person. You see, Bono of U2, he's not as young as he used to, but I think he's still okay on stage, even if it's becoming a little too commercial for me. But I think that U2, it's almost a must for U2 to be on stage. So I was trying to imagine Hollis on stage now. I think that maybe it wouldn't be fine for him because he doesn't want to come. I think that maybe the artist has to want to come back on stage to do it and to look okay. I prefer listening to Jim Kerr now and not watching him on stage, because I need to imagine him still young and beautiful and with the hair in the wind and running from one side to the other. I need that to appreciate the experience, which is kind of sad actually, but why not? Because he looks very sympathetic, and I'm glad for him because he seems really to enjoy being on stage. So it's great. It's really great for him. I actually regret that we don't have Hollis on stage now. You know, even if he had lost all his hair, even if he's not as young, who cares? The music is there, and I'm sure that it would be perfect because he's so perfectionist that it would probably be perfect. So I was wondering, what do you think? You think that the artist until the end should go on stage and play, and well, as long as they can stand on stage, of course. Until the end it's maybe a little exaggerated, because then there is a problem of health. It's very tiring to go on stage. Maybe if you are 80 years old, maybe you can't do it anymore. But I think it's sad to imagine that someone is too old to go on stage again. I think it's sad to imagine that, because art and music and performance should be to anyone. Of course, it's not as magic as when the person is young and beautiful, but I don't know. You know, at the beginning I was like, oh no, it's not good, we must still remember the artist when he was young. But then I thought life is short. If the artist enjoys being on stage, he should do it, he or she. But for me, I'm interested in he should do it, because if it's a pleasure for him, it's going to be a pleasure for the audience. I know that if Hollis wanted to go back on stage now, I would find a way to go and to see the concert, I'm sure. So, what am I talking about? Okay, this is a very short video, I suppose. I found the Who at the Isle of Wight. I recommend that also. The Isle of Wight in 1970 with the Who is exceptional. I recommend. It has been very hot here lately. We are very tired very quickly in Los Angeles, and it seems that we are going to have a lot of heat in the few following days. So I'm going to pray for the rain. I see you very soon. Bye bye.